Some easy stuff. What is your favorite color?
I actually talk about this a lot because I have a 6-year-old and a 7-year-old. So
Yeah. Oh, that
I
makes sense.
always say to them bluish green, which I don't
Okay.
know, just like a cop out because I don't want to pick either one.
Nice teal.
Yeah, yeah. I can do the rapid fire question.
Yeah. No, you've got this one under control. When you're not writing or momming, what do you like to do in your free time?
I don't have a lot of hobbies. I was just telling somebody that I read a lot. I write, and then my husband is also a creative. He's a comic book artist, so we talk a lot about storytelling. We watch YouTube videos about how to write. So we talk a lot about writing books.
Okay, so that's the other thing that I'm sorry, I'm giving you so much homework. I need cat pictures, but I also need info about your husband and
Yeah,
his work because my
yeah.
husband is comic book obsessed.
Oh, really? Yeah,
Yeah.
my husband, he's a great artist. So, and he's currently working on a project with DC on Bizarro, who's like he's a bad guy for
Yeah.
Superman. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I need more info. I'm always like my husband's a reader, but he's also a teacher, so he doesn't have a whole lot of time and comics his entire life.
Yeah.
He gravitates towards comics and like it's obviously different than reading how I read. We bond over it. So I could
Yeah.
imagine two creatives in a similar but adjacent space. That
Yeah.
could be
I
really
think
fun.
it's kind of nice like that. So we're not necessarily stepping on each other's toes, but we have a lot to talk about in common.
Yeah. Do you prefer e-reading or good old paper?
I like a physical book. And I try to buy from independent bookstores, but I also do a lot of audiobooks. If I'm reading it with my eyeballs, then I like a physical book, but then I do a lot of audio.
So two questions to go with that. When you're reading a physical book, paperback or hardcover?
Lately, because I usually pre-order books, it'll be hardcover because it's the first
Yeah.
thing that comes out. I don't really have a preference. I know there's a lot of people only want to read paperback. My aunt is like that. She'll wait till it comes out in paperback. But I like both, and I don't take my jackets off either. I use them as the bookmark. I like fold.
I do that too, except the most recent hardcover that I read, the jacket like kept falling off, and I was
Oh
just like, I
yeah,
can't do this.
yeah.
And I took it off.
I know. And I kind of like a hardback because like when I'm done reading for the night and I want to switch to like drinking wine and watching TV, then the hardcover can be my kind of like table because I don't have a table on the
Like
side of
the
my couch.
coaster.
So yeah.
That's no, I like it's also a breakfast in bed tray. I'm the same way. I really like there are people they have strong
I
opinions
know, I
about
know.
and I'm
I
just
will
like
kind of read in any format. Like I have a Kindle as well, so I'll bring a Kindle with me because it's more convenient if I'm gonna be like reading on the go. I'll have a hard like a physical book. I'll have an audio book. I usually have 2 or 3 books going because I'll have them on different formats. So I'm not picky. I don't have strong opinions.
I'm not crazy because I also am listening to one and reading another. Sometimes I'll do the same in um the same book in multiple
Yeah,
formats,
yeah.
like get in my car and then pick up my Kindle.
Yeah, I've done that with Kindle because they have that like whisper sync, but I'm like too impatient to try to find where I was
Yeah,
in the
no.
physical book and
Yeah, that would drive me crazy. I have to stop like at exactly like a chapter mark and then
yeah.
that way I can go straight there. What speed do you listen to your audiobooks on?
I used to be really against speeding it up at all. Because I'm not a very fast reader and I kind of enjoy having some time with the characters in the world. I like living with them for a week or two. My goal is not to just read a book as fast as possible. I have been lately because I'll have to read things to blurb them or like I just feel like it's a little bit more
Yeah.
part of my job to be reading things. And so I will sometimes go up to 1.2, but that's the highest I'll go.
Okay. I feel like I am I've been being shamed for I listen at 3 times speed. But like I can't I feel like my 3 is probably like your 1.2
Yeah.
because I've
No,
just
I
been
think
doing
that
it
I've
so
heard that.
long.
I've heard that some people can't concentrate if it's too slow. So I get that totally. It's just not how my brain works.
Anything slower, I won't be able to pay attention at
Yeah.
all. Into your writing a little bit. do you, oh my gosh, I've been so excited to ask you this question. Do you outline or do you free write?
I I do a little of both. So I whenever I come up with the idea for a book, I know the twist. So I kind of know where we're going.
Okay.
But I don't know exactly how we're going to get there. And I always thought I was a plotter until I wrote Pretty Dead Things, because that was the first book I had to write on a deadline. And I thought, okay, well, I know how to do this. I'll just plot it really tightly. And then I started writing it, and it felt like I was like puppeteering my characters, and they didn't feel real to me, and nothing felt exciting, and it just wasn't working. And I had to kind of go back. I think what I have to do is like I have to know a plot point that's coming in the next like 50 pages, and then just kind of like free write to get there. And I do a
Okay.
lot of revising.
Like little checkpoints.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, when I wrote Party of Liars, I really did think about it like a mini series. So I thought like if you had a book was split into like 6 episodes, it would be 50 pages each. And 50 pages is a lot less intimidating than 300. And so
Wow.
I would plan out the kind of the shape of that episode, and I write to the end of that episode, and then I'd polish those pages, and then I'd send them to my sisters so they could like tell me it was awesome, and then I'd keep going. Then I'd give them the next episode. I think whatever that is, like whatever version of like combination of plotter and pantser.
Yeah. Yeah. And now that you say that, we'll skip a couple of the rapid fire because I just
Yeah,
want to I
yeah, no
want to talk
worries.
about your books. So now that you say that, it it makes a lot more sense. I just both of your books, I'm so intrigued by how deep you went with the plot. Like it's just like, and it's both of them. It's like very much like this is happening, and then all of a sudden it's just like, wait a second. Knowing that you did it in chunks, it makes sense because otherwise I was just like, how did you get from point A to point B like in one shot? It doesn't make sense. So your plots are intense. I don't feel like they're very much like they're not like bam plot twist. It's just like it's like a slow burn thriller to me.
Yeah.
I'm so into that.
I,
It's
I
so
I
many.
enjoy a slow burn a lot. One of my favorite authors is Tana French. I don't know if you've read.
Yep.
Yeah. And hers are definitely. I just reread or re-listened to Broken Harbor. And her books are long. Like she's not in a hurry to get there, but I just feel so invested with the characters, and they usually are these complicated, kind of woven stories where you have to figure them out, by unweaving all of these different elements. And I always, whenever I'm talking about my books with my husband before I start, I always tell myself I'm going to make this one simple, and then it never ends up simple. I don't know if it's because I just get so curious about all the characters and they just get more complicated. But I don't know. I love a complicated story.
I wish I could just take the thriller genre and like put it into subgenres just so that I can like explain more about what I'm into as far as reading goes.
I know, I
Um,
agree. I feel like you need it because I think, like, I've thought this about, I feel like romance, you'll see, like these books that become really popular and then unanimously everyone likes them. Whereas I
yeah,
feel like with thrillers and mysteries, there's a lot more debate. And I think maybe it's because there's so many different types of mystery thrillers that I think it would be helpful for us as authors too to be able to say like this is the type of book, and the bookstagrammers do a really good job with when you post about them and you promote them, you say like these are the tropes or has similar vibes to this, or but yeah, there's just still a lot of variety.
yeah. I feel like romance as a genre, I'm a little jealous because you can say like it's friends to lovers and
Yeah,
like I don't like this, so I'm not gonna read it. And it's just like
yeah,
thrillers. It's like this is a thriller. It's like,
yeah,
all right, well, we're about to find out. Good news is I haven't met a thriller that I don't like,
yeah,
but I could imagine if I were someone who was like anti locked door,
yeah.
I guess.
I know, I'm
But
kind of I love all mysteries and thrillers, so.
yeah, yeah, there's just something. I mean, don't get me wrong, I like a good like rom-com in between them, but yeah, no, somebody somebody needs to die most
That's
of the
what
time.
that's what me and my sisters always joke about. Like, for at least for me to like a book, I need at least one dead body. Like, I
Right?
don't read
Like,
outside the genre that much, actually. I will sometimes, like, if a friend wants me to read something with them, but you kind of have to like force me. It's not something I'm going to pick up on my own.
yeah.
I don't know. I want a dead body.
Yeah, no, that's totally fair. I don't know what that says about us as humans,
I don't know.
but fine. Do you have a favorite author? I feel like this is such a mean question
No,
because I
because
know my
I
answer.
love so many books and authors. I would say Tana French really is my favorite. She's the answer I always give. I read her really early in my journey of writing this genre and finding this genre. Gillian Flynn also was a huge influence. Like, I love all of her books. I love Jane Harper. Have you read Jane Harper?
Yep. Oh
She's
yeah.
she's the only blurb I've ever seen from Tana French. I don't know if Tana French gives more, but I saw Tana French recommended Jane Harper, and I was like, okay, well, I got to read it. And
I'm
she
in.
does have very similar vibes, actually, so it
Yeah.
made sense. Recently, I've really been into reading Liz Nugent.
Yep.
Like, I found Strange Sally Diamond whenever going around Instagram, and I loved it. It was just really different. And now I got my husband to read it too. He's not a huge reader, but he loves Liz Nugent, so we've been like going through the back catalog together. I just read Unraveling Oliver by her. I had to drive to Dallas, and it's not a very long book. Like, the audio book is only 7 or 8 hours. So
Okay.
the drive to Dallas was about 5-ish. So I started it and I had almost finished it, and then I sat in a hotel. I am a mom who had a hotel room to herself, and I sat in that hotel room and listened to the rest of the book. Like, I had to finish it. I love her. But those are just like, oh, and Lisa Jewell, I love. And then I have some authors that I've only read like one of theirs, but I know I would love everything. Like, I loved The Push by Ashley Aldrain.
Yes.
I like a lot of that like dark motherhood stuff. And I loved God of the Woods, which is
Hmm.
also kind of a slow burn. It's a very long book, but I love that. That's the only Liz Moore I've read, but I loved it. I am friends with Katie Gutierrez, who lives here in San Antonio, and she's a gorgeous writer. May Cobb is always has like such a fun plot. So
Nice.
anyway, I could go on forever, but I love a lot of those those writers.
No, that makes we have very similar taste in books. I have not read Unraveling Oliver though.
It's very
Um,
good. It's very dark,
okay.
like all of her stuff. We're always that's the only,
Perfect.
my husband and I's like, not complained, because I would not complain about Liz Nugent, but we are always like, why is everybody so miserable by the end of her books?
It is what it is. Inspiration for your books. Where does it come from? I guess where does it come from?
Yeah, normally I start with a twist, so I won't like spoil any of my books, but I spend a lot of time thinking about, why would a normal person kill someone? Like, what would drive them to that point? How would they do it? And so it usually comes to me, like, I don't know if I'm like reading a story in the news, or like watching reels on Instagram, or talking to my family, but it's something will come to me that'll be like, that's why you would kill someone. And then I kind of have a twist, but I don't have the rest of the story. And then I usually have some kind of like theme that I just want to write about. When I was writing Party Liars, I wanted to write about motherhood. Like, I had 2 kids 14 months apart in the pandemic. Like, I was consumed with motherhood, and I knew I wanted to write about motherhood. But then I also need like that commercial thing that fits it. A body dropping from the balcony at a Sweet 16. That was the commercial. And then now it's like I have all the pieces and I have a book I can write. With Pretty Dead Things, I actually had the twist for that before I ever wrote Party of Liars. Like, I had it for a really
Really?
long time. Yeah. I tried to write it 2 times, completely different books, but with that same twist, and it wasn't working. And I was just like, I don't know what this book is. It wasn't working. I was missing like the vehicle that would get the characters there. And when I had to write book 2, I was like, maybe that one twist, I could do it. I really wanted to write about, my daughters were about to start school for the first time. And I was like, I haven't gone to the bathroom by myself in 5 years, and all of a sudden they're going to be away from me for 8 hours a day and like have these whole lives that I can't control. And I know that's healthy, but it's also terrifying. So I was like, mothers and their teenage daughters, because teenage adolescence is like when you're really becoming your own person. So I knew I wanted to write that, but I still didn't have a story. And then my husband's cousin's daughter signed up for beauty pageants.
There we
And
go.
I like called her and I was like, "Can I come with you to a beauty pageant? Can you like give me all the dirt?" And I was like, "This is the perfect setting for like a controlling mother with a teenage daughter." That was a long answer, but that's kind of how I have to like
No, that's
find all the parts of a story.
that's really, really interesting to me that like if you already said you find the twist first. I didn't really think about the fact that when you find that twist first, it's not in the context of
Yeah,
a Sweet 16 or a beauty pageant. Like the
yeah,
fact that you have the twist before you add that context is wild to me.
yeah. It is weird. It's also why I think the twist doesn't change for me. Because the twist is usually connected to something that happened before the story gets going. Like I already know what all the characters' secrets are,
Right?
and then I don't know what they're gonna do now in the present, but I know what they're bringing to the present.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it is interesting because a lot of times I can't pitch the book as the twist because it'll spoil it. So I have
Yeah.
to come up with a pitch that I can
Something
pitch.
else.
Yeah.
Yeah. Could you imagine if you just like pitch the twist and they're just like, really? I kind of want to talk about publishing. I haven't asked a lot of authors about their publishing journey or what that takes or what it looks like. And then obviously you're a USA bestselling author. I want to know, like, how does that happen? How did it make you feel? What does it entail? Tell me all the things.
The USA Today bestseller list is so exciting, and like it just has to do with the numbers of sales, but it's like the New York Times where it's per week, right? It's just like
Right.
how many did you sell that week compared to all the other books. But the New York Times is like all adult hardcovers, and the USA Today is just like all books. So like Goodnight Moon will still be on there.
Oh, cool.
And usually pretty high up there. And so that was just really exciting. But it's funny because these are like things that I wasn't really aware of before. Like now I know that the lists come out on Wednesday. So like Tuesday night, right after launch week, I'm like stressing. Now I wasn't really anticipating it with Party Liars, but then I'm like, well, Party Liars hit it, so it'll feel like a step back if I don't hit it this time. So then like Tuesday night, I'm stressing. Wednesday, I had to get up to go to the airport, and I'm sitting at the airport, and I was like, oh my God, I forgot to check if the list has come out. But then usually my team like emails me and stuff anyway, but it's just very exciting because it it means that people are reading the book. So that's amazing. Yeah, I forgot what the other part of your question was about publishing, just like what the journey's been. I so
Yeah.
that my publishing journey is I knew I wanted to be an author from the time I was a little kid. Like I was a reader. I started writing stories when I was a little kid. I once I was in like middle school, high school was when I thought, well, I could write novels. Like somebody writes these books. And I wrote a romantasy actually in high school.
No way.
And yeah, I used to also be part of this discussion board, like way back when the internet was brand new. It was called Book Divas. I don't know. I don't know if it's still around. Probably not. But it was a bunch of aspiring author teenage girls basically, and I was like very active on there, and I would have friends on there that would like be self-publishing, or and I was like, oh, they have a book, but I didn't do anything with my romantasy. Then I went to college. Oh, it was just like scam likely too. How annoying. And then I went to undergrad, and I went to grad school for creative writing, and I wrote another novel. And it was a literary novel. Mine had no plot. There's plenty of great literary novels that have plot. Mine did not. So I tried to get an agent, couldn't. Decided I need to write a genre. And then thought about all the genres I used to love to read, and I loved mystery. So I started reading a lot of mystery and thrillers, and I think it was literally the year Gone Girl came out. So I read Sharp Objects, Gone Girl, and I was like, this is all I ever want to read and write. And so I started reading a lot in the genre. I wrote my first mystery thriller, got my agent, but that took 8 years, I think, of querying agents. And then I finally got my agent. We worked on that book for like a year and a half together. We sent it out and no publishers wanted it. And this was when I started having my kids. And then I thought, I was like still trying to just write another book. And I finally I texted my sisters and I was like, I think I'm going to quit writing, at least for right now. Like I don't have time for this. Nobody wants to read what I write. I'm, taking care of a 1-year-old and a 2-year-old at that point, and I don't have free time. And I was working full time. I thought, well, I can't also write. And then I felt a lot of relief. I felt really relieved. And then that lasted for about 2 weeks. And then I had the idea for Party of Liars. It's like a compulsion. I can't not do it. It took me a long time. It took me a really long time, like 20 years. And then I got my book deal. So everything that happens after this is just the most amazing thing to me.
I mean, based on how much was invested in it, that makes perfect sense to me. Do you still have your early writings?
I do.
And do you have plans?
No, I do. I would have to find them. They're like somewhere in, I think my mom has a lot of them printed like in her closet. I know she has my undergrad thesis, which was a bunch of short stories in like a binder in her closet. I know I have my romantasy book somewhere, but it's terrible. I tried to read it 10 years or something ago and it's awful. Not because romantasy is awful, because I was 17 when I wrote this book. And the only one that I could use is the mystery thriller that I wrote, but I think I'm just a better writer now that I thought about, people asked me about it for book 2. And I just was like, I think it'd be harder to try to fix that book than to just write something new.
Could you reuse the twist in a different context?
I think I could.
Okay.
And I think that I might at some point. It would just be a very different book.
Yeah. I'm so fascinated by all of it. Especially because I feel like everyone has such a different journey.
They do, I know.
It's crazy to me.
It is.
All of it.
Yeah.
Off the cuff, folks that are currently querying, any advice or words of wisdom that you have?
I think write the book that you would most want to read. That's what I did when I finally wrote Party of Liars. It was just because I kind of assumed that no one was going to read it. Assumed like it hadn't worked before. It might work, but it might not. Also, I just wrote the book that like I would read, and I would call my sister and be like, "You have to read that. We can talk about it." And that's the best advice. As far as like, there's so much advice out there about like how to query and how to get agents, and there's a lot of really great advice. And I think dig in and try to listen to that. I still watch like how to write, there's a YouTube channel called Alyssa Majestic, or like that's her name, but it's her YouTube channel. And she used to be an editor for one of the big 5. Now she's a freelance editor and has this YouTube, but she gives great advice for querying. I don't know why I still watch it. Like, I don't need that advice, but she has other stuff too.
Yeah,
she has writing advice as well.
That's awesome. If you had the opportunity to go back and change anything in any of your books, would you?
That one's so hard because once the book is out there, I feel like it's not mine anymore. And once it's out of your hands, you don't go back and reread them, except for once I listen to the audiobook. And that's like, sometimes they send me the audiobook a little bit before it comes out, but I always wish I could edit it one more time after I listen to the audiobooks. Like, I know that's not possible, but I wish that was part of the process because the narrators are so fantastic. Like, I'm so enamored with their talents, and it's really fun because I think it's one of the only times that as writing is so solo. It feels like you're like in this collaborative. You get that with your editor and your agent, but when you're working with the audiobook narrators, they really make it their own. But anyway, once I'm listening to it, I can feel like like, oh, that sentence is kind of redundant. Like you already got that point across, or I would love to like have another pass at it after
After
listening
you
to it.
hear it,
Yeah.
I know some authors have a say in who gets cast for their narration. Do you have a say in that,
I do,
or it's
which is like
okay?
really fun because I am such a big audio fan.
Yeah.
So they will email me and ask me for any, like, is there anything that you want us to look for as far as like how each of the characters sounds or accents or anything like that? And then do you have any suggestions? Like, do you have any narrators you have in mind? And so the first time they asked me with Party of Liars, I did. I have some favorite narrators. I have ideas. I told them all my ideas. And one narrator that I said, but I never thought we could get was Saskia Marleveld. I don't know. Do you listen to a lot of audiobooks?
I most of my books,
Yeah.
and I'm like really, really bad at names, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
would recognize the voice.
She narrated, she's narrated a lot of stuff, but ones that you maybe have read. I know she narrated First Lie Wins
Yep.
and God of the Woods.
Yep.
She just has a really distinct voice. She's great. But anyway, then they send me 2 auditions per character, and I get to like tell them which one to pick. I don't know if they would fight me if I like picked ones that they didn't want. I agreed with them because the people that put, the producers that put it together are amazing as well. But yeah, we got Saskia for like if you listen to the audiobook of Pretty Dead Things, she's Kat. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay.
And then she's Kim in Party of Liars. But all of them are fantastic. Saskia was just like one that I had asked for by name. But then I'm like so
Yeah.
impressed with everyone that they find.
I love the multicast also. Um, I think that's so cool. It's just
Yeah.
it's like a piece of theater
Yeah.
in my ears
I know.
of
I
a
love
book.
it. I love it. I love it so much. And a lot of, because I was saying like a lot of my favorite authors that I named are either British or Irish or Australian.
Hmm.
And I love hearing that. Like
Yeah.
I love listening to a Tana French book because you get the Irish accent and it's awesome.
Yes. Yes. No, I totally agree. Her books actually, I do have to slow them down
Yeah.
because of the accent. I
Yeah.
can't do Tana French at
That makes
3.
sense. If it was like at 3.
Yeah. Oh no, it sound at 3, it's like a leprechaun on helium. Like
Yeah.
it's not working out.
I don't think there's going to be one summer of 2027, just because I think I would have had to have already turned in the first draft, and I haven't.
Yeah.
We were like, I had a 2-book deal. Then there's like a little bit of a lull while we like get in, figure out the contracts and everything. But I don't think one will be coming out in 2027. To be honest, a book a year is fast for me. Like it was very fast to write Pretty Dead Things. But then then I'm always like, some of my favorite authors, Lisa Jewell like puts out one a year and her books are so good. Like how? But she also she doesn't have little kids in the house, so that might be, I don't know. She's still amazing for doing it. But I don't know. I think I'm not going to slow down too much if I do slow down. Like every other year, every year and a half. Yeah.
Okay, so knowing that, are you actively working on anything right now?
I am. I
Um,
can't say very much
okay.
about it, but I am.
Okay.
It's another thriller set in Texas. Like I
Okay.
probably will. Oh, right. This one that the heart of the book that I really wanted to explore this time was sisterhood. I have 2 sisters, and I'm really interested in writing about me and my sisters always joke that like I would bury a body for you. Like you call me up and you tell me you need a body buried, like I'm not even asking questions. I'm already on your side. And so like that energy was what sparked this idea. And I also want, I'm the oldest, and then I have a middle and I have a youngest, and I think the dynamics and like the way that shapes you as a person is really interesting. And then I have the concept, but I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it.
Okay. Yeah, no, I don't want to get you in trouble.
Yeah.
I also have 2 sisters. I'm the middle. Sister dynamics
Yeah.
are interesting.
They are, I know.
For sure.
And I think a group of 3 is also fun for a thriller because like if you have two, then you're either against each other or you're together. If you have three, it just be this like constant shift of who's on whose side. So I think it's going to be really fun. It's really fun already when I'm right.
If you need like a super small part narrated, let me know.
Yeah.
I'd be happy to. You don't even have to pay me. I'll just do it. I'm gonna start a portfolio for
Yeah.
narration. I'm reading the books anyway. I might as well just read them out loud. How do you come up with the names for your characters?
Names are fun because they have to be right. Like I have to feel it in my gut that they're right. And so I'll always find old drafts where everyone has different names and I'm like, who are these people? I remember I found a draft of Party of Liars where Ethan's name was David and I was like,
No, that
that's
doesn't work.
but I usually try on a few and then I'll write like a chapter or two and I can just tell it's wrong. But where I find them is like baby name websites, Facebook, like people that I know, and then I'll think, well, like that person, or like they're the same age as that person that I know in real life, but I don't want to name them that. I'll like look at their friends list to be like, what are names of the same age group, and that's usually how. But it's funny because when I was a kid and I was writing, I was probably about 14 or 15. And I had taken a baby name book from my mom's shelf and I had it in my room and was writing a list of names for my characters because I wrote then. And my dad found it and he didn't have the context for it. He like sat me down, like, is there something you need to tell me? And I was like, it's my characters. It's for my characters.
Oh my God.
So I've
That,
always been on the hunt for names.
your poor dad.
I know. Heart attack, probably.
So do you keep a book of the names you use so you don't reuse the names again?
I need to because I have a lot of characters in my books. I think I would always
Yeah.
remember like the main ones, but I have a lot of side characters too. I probably need to start doing that. I think when I was writing Pretty Dead Things, when I would sometimes have a side character, I would like do a check through my document of Party of Liars to
Okay.
make sure I hadn't used it, but that's gonna get real messy real quick. So I
I was
should
gonna say,
probably
like,
keep a list.
yeah, because both of them have a huge, not like a huge cast, but like it's a
No,
cast. It's not
I
like a main character.
I always write a lot of characters, and I think it's because I'm writing like small towns, and I'm writing complicated family dynamics, and it requires like, or even just having a party of liars. Like there needs to be more than two people here in this room. So I don't know, and I'm also just really interested in how our relationships with other people complicate our lives, and I always end up having a lot of characters.
I I love them, but you do need to start keeping track because I,
I do.
you probably have like one more book before you start
I
accidentally
know.
like subconsciously
Yeah.
recycling names.
But
So
having one document is a perfect idea. So thank you.
it's like a password notebook, but for
Yeah.
names that you've used. If someone could only read one of your books, which one would you tell them to read and why?
Oh, that's so hard. I love both of my books because I spend so much time with them. It's like when a lot of times people ask me who my favorite character is, and I don't really have an answer because I just love all of them. There's always going to be a special place in my heart for Party of Liars because it was my debut. It was the book I got to write when I didn't think anyone was looking. Whereas Pretty Dead Things was a lot harder because I had that pressure of like a deadline and eyes on me. But I'm still really proud of the book that it is. I don't know. I think it would just depend on what you enjoyed more as a thriller. And I think Party of Liars, like if you really want a book about, they both deal with motherhood, but motherhood is like very much a focus of that book. If you really like a more classic locked room thriller where like the entire thing happens in 24 hours, whereas Pretty Dead Things, I think if you like the plot, like going off in directions you weren't expecting, then that Pretty Dead Things is probably more for you. If a beauty pageant sounds like fun, then that's probably more for you. I think it just depends on the reader.
I love hearing your just an author's opinion on like who you think would enjoy. Like
Yeah.
if you like this, you might will say if you're like me at all, you will like both of them. So you should just read them both.
It was really hard to write Pretty Dead Things because I had never written with a deadline. But I also think if I don't have a deadline, it might take me like 5 years to write a book. So I think I'm glad that the deadline exists, even if I don't feel that the whole time.
I don't know if it comes with motherhood or if I've always been like this, but like I procrastinate like it's nobody's business.
I know, I do too. I'm always like joking that I will sit around and play on my phone until I have just a little bit less time than I need to get ready. And then I'm
Yes.
rushing. I have to rush. I can't get anything done unless I don't have enough time to do it.
My mom always said that procrastinating was my way of thrill seeking. But it's so true, right? Like if there's something on the line, it's like my adrenaline's going. It's like, and I put myself in that situation. It's my own fault.
Yeah.
I could see how a deadline would be helpful for people like us.
Yeah.
Experience writer's block ever, or is there anything that like stifles your creativity? And then if you do have something that stifles your creativity, how do you get past that?
I do for sure. I will like be supposed to be writing and I'm just playing on watching reels on Instagram way more times than I care to admit. But I think that the thing that blocks me, but this just sounds like I'm describing writer's block, but it's when I don't know what happens next. So, yeah. So when I like usually if I get to like the 60 to 70% mark of the book, I'm like writing it really quickly. But when like set up the initial thing, that part easy too, but then that middle like sag where it feels like anything could happen or nothing could happen, or and it usually means that, and this is usually how I solve it, it usually means that there isn't enough drive in the plot. Like there should be something that the characters have to react to. It should be obvious what my options are going forward. So I usually have to like backtrack and realize like what am I missing that's not driving this forward.
Is that when you like come up with like I want to like a mini twist? You
Yeah.
give yourself
Sometimes
a
it'll
new
be like a mini
checkpoint.
twist. Yeah. Or I'll like I love an anonymous note. Like characters gets an anonymous note and
Perfect.
yeah.
Like I'm a sucker for anonymous notes. It'll get me every time. Has there been any really weird or macabre Google searches
Oh my
that
gosh,
would look
so
really
many.
bad out of
Yeah.
context? Okay,
So
lay some on me.
yeah,
I need a
so
giggle.
many. Like sometimes I will screenshot my Google history and send it to my sisters, but I feel like every thriller writer probably like is on a list somewhere. But it's mostly just like how to kill someone. Can you die from falling off a third story balcony? Does it need to be higher? Can does the will this poison this type of poison like this type of medication will it like paralyze you but not kill you? You're like aware of what's happening. How long does this medication or poison, how long would it take to kill a person? Or like the really terrible ones are like if I want to see what something looks like but then I don't actually want to, so I'm like peeking through my fingers. But yeah, I have a lot about how to kill a person.
You mentioned earlier that there needs to be a dead body. Well, that
Yeah.
dead body had to get dead somehow. That
Yeah.
makes perfect sense to me. I want to be super respectful of your time. If it were up to me, we would probably talk all night. I need to close out with your go-to pizza order.
My go-to pizza order. Okay. We don't get pizza a lot because my oldest daughter hates pizza. Like what kid hates pizza?
And it happens.
Like we just wanted to get pizza yesterday and we again. My husband's go-to pizza order, we call it the Brian Special. I don't know why.
Okay.
It's based on a friend we have named Brian, but I don't know if he invented the pizza or if it was like some inside joke. But it's pepperoni, jalapeno, and pineapple.
Okay. Another pineapple on pizza fan. I'm here for it.
I know that's a controversial topping, but
It really is. I've never done pineapple and pepperoni though.
yeah, one time
So
and jalapeno. So I don't know if you
I
like
can't.
spicy.
I
Yeah,
can't. It's not that I don't like it. I'm just a wimp. I'm
yeah.
like really bad with spicy.
One time
Um,
they forgot the jalapeno and it was just pepperoni and pineapple, and I don't know that I would
not the
recommend
same.
just that combo.
Okay. Yeah, because I feel like you need like the jalapeno with the pineapple. If
Yeah,
there's a
it's like the
certain,
sweet and spicy.
yeah, I do like a spicy margarita. I'd
Yeah.
imagine that it's like that. But again, I would probably die. So there's another potential plot for your book. Um, Well, thank you so, so much. I am so grateful that you came to talk to me.
Yeah,
You came to
this was
spill
so
the ink.
fun.
I am a fan for life. I latch on to authors. If I like one, I'm going to read them all. So
I'm the
I
same
look
way as a
forward to
reader.
it.
I'm the same way, especially if I read two and I like them both, and I'm like, okay, this
Yeah, it
person
wasn't a one-off.
that I like to read. So yeah,
Absolutely.
so thank you. That means a lot to me, and this was so fun. Thank you for having me on.
Yeah. Anytime. Please don't be a stranger. Have a great night.
Yeah, you too. Bye.